Yo, what is good, community? So here we go. Obviously, you can see this is not a DC nor a Marvel figure, but it's a UFC figure, Chuck Liddell to be exact. Now, I'm a huge fan of UFC, MMA fighting, all around anything hand-to-hand combat related, you know, competition-wise. I've been a huge fan for years and years. So now I debated for the longest time whether or not to get one of these figures. I mean, even though I'm a fan and all that, it was just one more thing to collect. But after seeing Century's video on the ring, you know, I called him up and I said, "Yo, man, I've definitely got to pick up one of these guys to see what they're like." So, and I'm glad I did, because I'm really blown away by these figures. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys they've done a great job with the sculpt, the all around articulation on these guys. So, big kudos to those. Man, this is a absolute great figure right here. So, I guess we'll start out with showing you guys the box. I mean, there's nothing. You know, I know you guys like the box, but there it is. Nothing too epic about it. But the one thing I do like is that this thing was really easy to get into. I mean, there was no twisty ties, none of those little, you know, rubber band things that you pull and mess up your hand. I mean, it was just like open it up. There's the box. I mean, that was cool. It was nice to see that. But yeah, so obviously, I mean, they got little stats on them, where they're fighting out of, where they were born, their height, weight. So, I mean, it's just a typical box, nothing big. But what I would like to see, if they ever get around to it, is incorporating what their strengths are, you know, their fighting style. Because obviously Chuck Liddell is an excellent boxer, and, you know, he's pretty good at wrestling. So it'd be cool to see, you know, what these guys' fighting styles are, like jiu-jitsu, you know, wrestling. So it'd be kind of cool to see that if they ever incorporate that. And then you got the list of all the other figures in this wave, which this is wave 1, and they did have a series 1. They had a series 0, and I think 2 is out now. I'm not too sure, but yeah, definitely, you know, looking to get some more. I'm only going to collect the fighters I really like. You know what I'm saying? There's no point of getting anybody else that I really don't care for. But yeah, just a huge fan. So obviously we'll get into the figure, but I mean, number one is just the sculpt on this guy. I mean, look at his face. You can obviously see it compared to this. I mean, they really did a great job. That's scary how well they pulled that off. So super cool, super cool. And just all around the sculpt on this guy. And I asked Century, because he has more, I said, do all the guys have the same mold? And he goes, no, man, these guys all have different body molds. So I wish I would have got another one just to compare, but yeah, he's absolutely sick. So I think they're about like 7 inches. I'm not too sure. But you see here, Sandman. Sandman's he's a little taller than 6 inches. So you can see he's got just a little bit more on him. But yeah, so I mean, I can't compare them to wrestling figures. I mean, I don't watch wrestling or anything. But, you know, I know a lot of people use customs or wrestling. You know, like One's Custom does a lot of customs with wrestling figures. So maybe he'd give it a try with one of these UFC figures. I'm not too sure. But yeah, the range of motion on these guys, I mean, look at that. That is cool. You can see he's got all sorts of movement on his arm, so you can pull off like all those chokeholds, and, you know, he can block. So, I mean, that is cool. But yeah, so, I mean, there's a typical, you know, his attire. You know, that's exactly what he wears. I mean, they got all sorts of logos on there. You know, there's Fry's Electronics, Tap Out. So yeah, they've done a great job with these guys. I mean, really, really liking this figure. He's got the tattoo on his head. That's, you know, Chuck Liddell. He's the cat. He's got a little indent right there. I think that's just my figure. Got the mohawk going on. I mean, Chuck Liddell, he's a badass dude. I really like Chuck Liddell as a fighter. I mean, even though he's had a couple of losses in the past year or so, but, you know, that's just what happens in MMA. Now, the feet on these guys is really cool. I mean, the whole figure itself, he's like really loose, but yet he's not too loose where his arms just like drop. I mean, he's got tons of movement everywhere. Double joint at the knees. He's got articulation in the ankle. I mean, look how far that back. I mean, that is cool. So yeah, now he can kick about that high. So I mean, that's almost face level to somebody. So I mean, they really did a great job with that. So, you know, Chuck Liddell, he doesn't kick too often, but he just likes to punch. Let's see. mean, that's a knockout right there. You do not want to. Now, many people couldn't take Chuck Liddell down when he was, you know, even though he's a great wrestler, they really didn't want to get in too close with him because he's got one of the best knockout punches in the game. I mean, this guy just, oh, I've seen him knock out some good fighters, man. But yeah, so not too much head articulation. I mean, he can up and down just a little bit, but, you know, full side to side. Like I said, the selling point is with these arms. I mean, you can really pull off some haymakers. I mean, you can go all the way back like this and just whack. So yeah, definitely looking forward to getting more of these figures. So I just want to give you guys just a quick look. You know, Chuck Liddell, UFC fighting. Peace.